the end of this week, encourage us to examine our actions. Let us look ahead toward the new week so we will all be worthy of God's blessing. Page 12. I lift my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. Shamayim va'aretz ezri me'im Adonai Oseh shamayim va'aretz esaynai el harim me'ayin yavo ezri esaynai el harim me'ayin yavo ezri me'im Adonai Oseh shamayim va'aretz ezri me'im Adonai Oseh shamayim va'aretz. At this time, I would like to invite you all to think about something sweet that happened to you this week, a little bit of sweetness that occurred that you would like to bring into this Shabbat with you. So think for just a moment about a little bit of sweetness in your week that you would like to take with you into this Shabbat. And if you would like to share your sweetness, raise your hand and we'll pass the mic around. Come here. What's something sweet that happened this week to you that you want to bring into Shabbat?
I like to play with my friends.
Playing with your friends, that is very sweet. I hope you bring that sweetness into Shabbat with you.
Well, today we had a lot of snow, and I loved that. We kind of needed it, so that was pretty sweet.
Awesome. Wonderful, Ella. Thank you. The blessing of powder, yes.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
We had a family dinner with all of our kids and their significant others from all over the world all at once, which hasn't happened in I don't know how long.
Oh, how wonderful. That is a great bit of sweetness to bring into the week. Yeah.
Kind of like a lot of powder and actually be able to sled down the hill that's right down our house.
You sled to school today.
Mm-hmm. And that's some...
Sledding to school?
Sled down the hill.
Can't do that in Texas, can you?
Yeah, no, we would never be able to do that in Texas.
Amazing. This is like your first major snow, isn't it?
This year.
Has it been spent in a condo where it's so cramped?
Right.
Or a hotel?
Right. Oh, that's so wonderful. Awesome. Very sweet. That's a lot of Shabbat sweetness. Who else has something they'd like to share? Okay, perfect. Yeah.
So all three of my kids were such little cuddle bugs last night, and we all cuddled. And that's just really sweet.
Oh, that's wonderful. Anyone else?
So I was in Houston this week for the holiday party of the company I work for. So it was nice to see everyone after such a long time. And it was sweet that I could make it before the storm. Make it back before the storm.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So this week we had Rabbi Newman is still healing from his surgery from his fall, and we had so many congregants that called and wished us well and sent us flowers and gifts and sweetness, and just having people care is the sweetest thing.
It's wonderful. Thank you. Yes. Anyone else want to share? All right. Well, thank you for sharing all of that sweetness, and I will bring all of that sweetness that you've shared into my Shabbat as well. Let's all join together on page 16 as we welcome in the Shabbat bride and join together in Lecha Dodi. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat ka, P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Hishmi'anu el hameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'litchila. La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha. Ki hi mekor ha'beracha. Mirosh mikerem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machsheva tchila. La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Mikdash melech ir melucha. Kumitzi mitoch ha'hafecha. Rav lach shevet be'emech havacha. Vehu yachmol alaychem. La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Now we rise as we are able and face the entrance to our sanctuary as we welcome in the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'b'sala. Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, la 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala. P'nei p'nei Shabbat nekavela. I'd like you to take a look on pages 16 and 18. Take a look. You may be seated. And if you know a little bit of Hebrew, well, first of all, whether you know Hebrew or not, what do you notice that's a little bit interesting about this prayer that is a little bit maybe different from some of the other prayers that are in our prayer book? It can be anything. I'm not looking for a super specific answer. There are many. What do you notice that is a little bit different about this one? It can be structural. It can be anything. What do you notice about this prayer that's different from some of the others? Yeah. Yeah, it's like really broken down into verses. And do you have any idea why that might be? Yeah. Tell me what else you noticed. Yes, there is a letter that is bold at the beginning of each of these little paragraphs. And this is really meant to be a poem. It's written as poetry, and when it was written, these letters weren't necessarily bold in what it's writing, but it's meant to highlight something very interesting. So now if you know a little bit of Hebrew, take a look at the first letter of each of the paragraphs. Take a look at these letters, and can you see what this prayer and this poem is saying? Shalom is really close. It has the same root letters as shalom. Yeah. Really close. So I'll give you another clue. It's 2 words. The first 3 are one, and then 4 through 9 are the next, or 4 through 8. I'll give you another clue. It's a name. You're on the right track. I've heard a lot of very close answers. Shlomo is the name with the Shin Lamed Mem. Yep. And Halevi. Shlomo Halevi. He added his name into this prayer so that you would always remember who the author was of this prayer. So that's what's going on. If you're ever noticing and wondering why those letters are bold, that's the name of the author of this poem that we sing and read together from way back in the 16th century. All right, I would love to have you read for us our prayer on page 23, just for today. And we'll read responsively.
Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once. Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is and not try to adjust everything to suit me. And if I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have. Just for today, I will be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best, praise people for what they can do, and not criticize them for what they cannot do. And if I find fault, I will forgive and forget it. I will try not to rule or regulate anybody except myself. Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision. Just today, I will get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I will appreciate them for what they do and what they are. Just for today, I will not show if my feelings are hurt. Just today, I will find a little time to relax and to do less of life is beginning. Not everything about and get better of myself. Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
Thank you. We now transition from our Kabbalat Shabbat service, which is what we just did, into the central portion of our prayer, our communal prayer service. And this portion of our service begins with our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Please rise if you are able and join with me on page 24. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. In the first evening blessing before the Shema, we begin with awareness of our natural being, where we are, what time it is, the weather, and the length of day. Night brings the fear of darkness and chaos, so we focus on the comforting rhythm and order of creation. I would like to invite Maya and Lila and Ella and Mark and Will up on page 30 to lead us in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Mahu Tov Leolam Va'ed.
Thank you. And we continue together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. We read responsibly at the top of page 33. Source of all goodness. As we join together in prayer, we reflect on blessings that are always within our reach. May we have enough wealth to be able to take care of our own needs and compassion enough to share our abundance with others. May we have patience enough to not easily become disheartened, knowing that with faith in the future, tomorrow will be a better day. We join together at the bottom of page 32 our prayer of freedom michamocha. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Ya lai la lai lai yai lai ya la lai. Yai la lai lai ya la 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 lai. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mikamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osei fele. Nora tehilot osei fele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze'elianu ve'amru. Ze'elianu ve'amru. Adonai imlach le'olam va'ed. Adonai imlach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Ya lai la lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai. We turn together now to page 34. May we lie down to sleep in peace, Adonai, our God, and may you stand us up in the morning in life and spread over us a sukkah of your peace. Let us feel your good guidance. Save us for your own sake. Defend our cause. Keep us far from enemies, from disease, from war, from famine, and from sadness. Help us to avoid evil and temptation, both before and behind us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are a guarding and saving God, merciful and compassionate. Guard our going out and our coming in, for life and for peace, now and always. Hashkivenu, the top of page 34. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChaim. Ushmor Tzeiteinu Uvoeinu Lechaim Shalom Me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChaim. All right. We will now turn to page 38 as we offer a prayer for healing. In just a few moments, Janet is going to read for us a list of names of those in our community that are in need of healing. And after she reads the names, I will look around the room. And as my eyes meet yours, if you have a name to share of somebody in your life who needs healing, I invite you to share it at that time. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Linda Colin, Blanche Deutsch, Lynn Deutschman, Ira Drescher, David Freed, Jane Friedman, Deborah Goldman, Cliff Goldman, Randy Goldman, Donald Jaffe, Warren Janowitz, Mary Sue Katz, Herman Keek, Brian Kushner, Josh Marion, Renee Myers, Pedro Prince, Alvin Putterman, Stephen Reese, Roberta Scheller, Sam Schwartz, Deb Shea, Bill Silvers, Bert Solomon, Dina Stempler, Mari Strauss, Alan Tenenbaum, Tammy Trow, and Mickey Winokur.
And our thoughts are with Rabbi Newman as he continues to heal from his surgery. Mishaberach מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Please rise if you are able as we join together in the Reader's Kaddish, the Chatzi Kaddish, on the top of page 40. Yitkada ve'yitkadash shemei Rabba ve'alma divra kirutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael bagala bagala u'vizman kariv ve'imeru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach, le'alam u'lam me'almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach ve'ishtabach, yitpa'ar v'tromam v'naseh, v'tadar, v'taleh, v'talal, shemir kudsha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amira be'alma ve'imeru amen. Adonai, please open my lips so I can sing your praises. We'll join together on the top of 42, singing Adonai Svatai Tiftach. Once we've concluded Adonai Svatai Tiftach, I invite you to continue silently with the words in your prayer book or the words in your heart. Adonai, Svatai Tiftach. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, Svatai Tiftach. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, Svatai Tiftach. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Once you have completed the Amidah, you may be seated. We will now continue with our prayer for peace at the top of page 54. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. 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 Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. I'd now like to invite Janet Newman up to deliver Rabbi Newman's sermon.
Can I give this to you? Thanks. So this past week has been a tricky one for us as Rabbi recovers. And we've thought a lot about refuah shlema, the idea of healing and offering good wishes. So he wrote his sermon about that, and these are his words meant to be given by him. So when I say I, it's him, not me, right? Okay. A question was raised in rabbinical school about the proper way to offer prayers for healing in our services. Do we rely on God? What role do doctors and nurses play? What about praying for the individual to have enough strength to move on? Rabbi Hugo Grin, my professor of practical rabbinics in London, shared a story with us while explaining our role as future rabbis. He told about two yeshiva buchers who were walking to cheder in his native village of Czechoslovakia. On that particular day, they decided to try a new path to get there. There were things on this path that they had never seen before, and they started exploring. And as they explored, they lost track of time. And before long, they realized they were in danger of being late to class. So they began to run toward their school. As they got closer, but not close enough, one of the boys continued to run, but the other stopped dead in his tracks. And he began to sway back and forth to pray. When the other boy realized that his friend was not keeping up with him, he turned back to look. And seeing his friend davening, he ran back to him and said, "Are you okay?" And the boy said, "Yes." He said, "So what are you doing?" And the boy said, "I'm praying to God that we get to cheder on time." To which the other boy replied, "Pray while you run." So Rabbi Grin explained that this story illustrates what he believes about prayer and healing. The prayer is only the first step. The prayer is something that gets us to think about the person who is ill and helps us to think about what actions we can take that might help or comfort the one who is ill. When he was done sharing the story to of these two students, someone in the class posed the question, so, should we still pray? When any of us are going through illness, it is important to realize it is prayer that helps. But being a listening ear is an important part of the therapy. You see, prayer is more than just words. Prayers are and should be the beginning of taking action. Prayer within Judaism is service. That is, telling us that when we pray, we're to come up with ways that we can be of service to the ones we are praying for. In other words, what can we do to help them? In my case, while I am very grateful for your prayers and the meals and the flowers, and I am extremely grateful to Cantor Michelle for taking over the things that I had been responsible for, weddings and services and events and everything else, and hospital duty, thank you. What I really appreciate is when you continue coming to services or watching online and being safe and caring for each other in special ways. With God's will, your prayers, and the expertise of the doctors, I will be here to join you after the new year. Maybe, just maybe, that is why we call Shabbat services a service, so that our prayers will lead us to be of great service to others, and of course, greater service to God. The Mishaberach prayer, the prayer for healing, lets someone know that we care about you, and yes, we're praying for you while we are running to cheder, or work, or play. Thank you. So we have one more service here at the chapel, and then two services, the service on the 25th of December and the 31st of December will be virtual, as there are many congregations that we share this chapel with, and they'll be using this area. So we're going to be virtual during those services. There's also our book Havurah is on the 15th, and we're reading Wandering Dixie, which you've had great reviews for, and it should be a great discussion, and that's on newmanzoom.com at 6 o'clock Mountain Time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're not trying to compete with be the one Jewish congregation trying to vie for a spot on Christmas Eve at this chapel. So we'll be virtual for Christmas, and we'll be virtual for New Year. We are so grateful to everyone who came out for all of our Hanukkah candle lightings. We had so much fun. We loved hosting all of you for warm drinks at Loaded Joe's before we lit, and then thanks to everyone who came out and braved the cold with us to light candles every night. That was wonderful. Our Machane B'nai Vail, our religious school calendar, just came out for the year, and it is packed with all sorts of wonderful activities. We're going to be going to Village Bagel to make bagels, learn about the history of bagels and to make bagels. We'll be doing a scavenger hunt through Vail Village, finding creative interpretations of different Jewish items from different stores throughout Vail, and all sorts of things. We're really excited for book club. Thank you, Janet, so much for stepping in to help out with the sermon and to help us read our lists of names that we need to read throughout the service. And thank you all for being here tonight. We will resume our service on page 60, and I'd like to invite all of the kids to come up and open the ark very gently for us as we all rise, and we will say Aleinu. It's very Steve Jobs look, Siva. Let's go open it. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gerula le'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kirei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gorolenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemar, V'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, Yehieh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo echad. There are stars up above, so far away that we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Janet, I'd like to invite you up to read our list of names of those that we are remembering in the month of December. And after Janet reads the list, I will look around the room. And as my eyes meet yours, if you are remembering anyone tonight, we invite you to share that name out loud if you'd like.
Thank you. We also want to offer our condolences to Nancy Peller on the loss of her sister, Hillary Goldman. Okay. Doris Allen, Harry Baker, Sybil Carsley, Rachel Cohen, Max Cohen, Enid Dinkin, Irving Dushman, Lynn Eggert, Valerie Ellis, Rose Engel, Harry Feldman, Milton Finkelstein, Seymour Fleischer, Eddie Floman, Rita Friedman, Samuel Galperin, Dora Gardner, Lillian Gelfin, Bernie Gerson, Carol Goldberg, Stanley Goldberg, Murray Goldman, Bernie Grablowski, Rose Gross, Sally Herman, Sarah Hockman, Selma Horowitz, Isaac Israel, Eunice Jenko, Benjamin Karsh, Sadie Kaufman, Bob Krasnow, Stephen Krell, Gerald Kushner, Jerry Lehman, Norman Levin, Alma Levine, Joanne Morrison, Marvin Nelson, Alex Nickerman, Jack Numeroff, Frank Pepish, Rosalie Presser Familiant, Leonard Rudolph, Anna Solomon, Arlene Stein, Jack Tenschel, Harry Tudanger, Bruce Wenneker, Augusta Whitman, Dorothea Wolf, Sam Zelensky. Just say the Kaddish.
Thank you. Any other names? Thank you. And we now join together on page 64 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. Be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, v'yithalev, v'yithalal, shemei d'kudsha b'rechu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. You may be seated, and we will conclude our service this evening on page 66 with the singing of Adon Olam. Does anyone have an Adon Olam melody request this evening? Does not need to be an Adon Olam melody. We can try it anyway. Any ideas? No. Will's like, don't look at me. Snow themed. I like that. Okay. All right. Okay. Yep. Adon Olam. Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa v'chefso kol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshilo lehachbira lirishit b'li tachlit ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisra ve'chu eli ve'chai goli ve'etzor chevli be'et sarah ve'hu nisi umanos li v'nat kosi be'yom ekra be'yado kidruchi ve'et ishan be'a'ira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you. Snow theme, I like it. That's great. All right, and we will conclude our service with Kiddush and Motzi. On page 68, we have challah and grape juice and wine in the back for anyone who would like to have someone after the service. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit Ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Shabbat shalom. Thank you. Bim bam bim 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 bam bim 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 bam bim bam bim 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 bam bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom.